Let me just.
Oh, nice.
All right,
Nice.
it's
Nice.
good.
Strong man. Nice strong man.
Just got to make sure that lighting was good.
Oh, dude, you
Maybe if
gotta.
you ate some more meat, get muscle.
That's right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Well, have you started recording?
I have. I have. Fuck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fear Talk Radio, your number one stop for all things horror related. We dive into the news, we dive into what's going on, and without further ado, my name is Taylor, and I am here with Jonathan, aka JDJ619. He has a YouTube channel, and he is pioneering me a little bit with this whole YouTube journey. And yeah, so do you want to introduce yourself, Jonathan?
Yeah. He calls me Jonathan. A lot of people call me JD from my channel, just a little short name for JDJ619. I make funny gaming moments. I plan on making a lot more content with like rankings, a lot of just like things I'm interested in. Trying to just veer out, kind of do a lot of other stuff, but I'm really happy to be here. Yeah.
Right on, right on. Okay, so what is this podcast, video, long form talk thing that we're doing? Fear Talk Radio. It's basically just a 1.5 month thing that I'm looking at doing where we dive into all things horror related, everything that's going on in the news regarding horror, and just like fun stuff in that realm. So yeah, that's kind of the idea with everything. But with that being said, let's jump into the news. So first off, I want to give a preface with all of these news stories. I've linked the articles below, and just to give credit to the people who broke the stories in general. But Jonathan knows this. One of my most highly anticipated topics I've wanted to talk about is some new movies on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
One of those being Bambi, The Reckoning.
You told me about that last week. That was like the only one that you kind of like had talked about, and I didn't believe you. I thought it was like some fan-made film or something like that, and I tried not to look into it because I didn't want to spoil anything. But
I have a lot of information about this guy. So Bambi: The Reckoning is coming out on August 31st, or October 31st, my bad, of this year, and it's a film by Jagged Edge Productions. And they're actually the same team behind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. 1 and 2. So
okay.
They're creating basically this thing that they deem the Pooniverse.
Is that what they called it?
That's what they're calling it.
That's what they're called. Okay.
Yeah. And so basically, Bambi: The Reckoning is going alongside Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Also, another release that's coming out is Pinocchio Unstrung.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, it's gonna involve Pinocchio.
Oh my god.
But past that, it's got to be a good story if you're involving Bambi. I mean, the original Bambi is iconic. Mm-hmm. We love it. Mm-hmm. So this one is about a mother and a son who crashed their car into the woods, and they're hunted down by Bambi.
Is this like full? Is this full grown Bambi, or is this like baby Bambi?
Oh, it's full grown.
Okay, so this is after the mom got shot.
No. Bambi has fully gone through his villain arc once he gets to this point.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah. So you know how in the original his mother dies?
Yeah.
Well, his mom dies in this one, but that turns him like evil.
Oh,
so that's where, and so he's enacting revenge on this mother and son.
Yeah, that's totally not weird at all. Like for a deer, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the director has actually called this Cujo meets Jurassic Park.
Oh,
that's what he's calling.
That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, Dan Allen. I think that's the director's name. He says, this is a quote by him.
Okay.
It's gonna be terrifying. When people see a deer in the wild after this film, they're going to run for the hills. This film is all about the death of childhoods just as much as it's going to ruin childhoods. Expect bloodshed, tears, and rabbits. And one mean killer deer. At last, the British countryside will finally get its Godzilla. So, how do you feel about him comparing Bambi to Godzilla of the British countryside.
I think it's a really weird comparison. I think if you're gonna compare it to anything, I think you should compare it to like movies that have the same style, like maybe like Cocaine Bear, something like that. I feel like it has that kind of vibe.
But Cocaine Bear was fairly successful, no?
I think it had like a little fan base going on. Like it wasn't from what I heard. I haven't seen it, but I've seen like clips and stuff like that. It looks like gory. It looks, more like a fun kind of horror movie, not like a horror movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I definitely think that this movie is like, I think it could be fine. Like, but if I haven't seen the Winnie the Pooh stuff. Also, I'm just gonna go and put that out there.
I was actually just about to ask you that. Yeah, I haven't either, and I haven't had much drive to go see it.
Yeah, right? No, well, when you said 1 and 2, I was like, "There's a 2." Like,
let me just tell you this: they came out with them back to back. It was like within, I think, a year's span time. It was not much turnover with it.
Oh my god, dude, that's insane.
All of the characters that are basically coming from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Bambi, and Pinocchio, alongside Sleeping Beauty, the Mad Hatter, and Rabbit. These are all other films that they're creating. And I didn't mention Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. All of these are actually going to be compiled together in 2025 to create a new movie called Pooniverse Monsters Assemble.
So are these going to be? let me just make sure I understand this. Are they making these like when you said like the Mad Hatter, Snow White, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Are they making those individual movies and then going to compile all of them, or are they going to make one big movie with all of them?
These movies have not come out yet, and they're saying that this will come out in 2025. So I might have not done my research well, but
I just want to make sure because I'm like, are they going to make however many people you just listed and then make one big like Endgame like Marvel movie of the Poohverse?
I think you're not giving them enough credit. I believe that this is just Avengers 1 in the Poohverse saga.
So right now what we're seeing is phase 1. We've seen Iron Man 1 and 2, and now Bambi is Thor.
We're in phase 1.
We're in phase 1.
Yeah, we haven't moved past phase 1
Okay,
yet.
got it.
Yeah, trust me. It's going to fall off after phase 3, but that's whenever we get down the road to some of the off-brand Disney princesses.
Who do you think would be like the Thanos of this universe? Like the big threat that they're going to hype up?
The big threat of this one.
Like, do you think it'd be like a human, or do you think it'd actually be like a bigger monster that they all have to come together and like kill or some shit?
I mean, this has nothing to do with anything horror related, but I want to say that it has to be the Vector from Despicable Me. I don't know why that came to my brain.
Dude, holy shit! You're a genius. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the first one to come to my head, but that just feels like a good. There are high hopes, though, for the Pinocchio movie. I was reading up on it, and the FX director that's creating the Pinocchio movie is actually the same director that, or the same FX director that did the puppet design for the Child Play movies. So Chucky
okay.
movies. So, I mean, they're hiring some big budget people to help out with this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, it sounds like there are actual like artists that worked on other previous horror movies, whether it be slasher, whether it be anything like that, to come to this. From what you're telling me,
oh yeah. And I mean, I think we're memeing on it, yeah. But right. It's like at the end of the day, if they're creating art and this is the art that they want to create, then
here's the thing. I'm memeing on it because I know what it is. I not like personally, but I've seen stuff about what it's like to pitch a movie and pitch a show or whatever you want to pitch. You have to go to a room full of like investors and be like, "Hear me out, Bambi."
Oh,
boom.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I actually, after this conversation, I think I will go back and watch the Poohverse movies.
Should we watch the Poohverse movies for the next one?
Here's what we'll do. our homework before the next time is to catch up on all of the Pooverse saga, which actually, I mean, we're gonna be coming back in 1 month. So in 1 month's time, hopefully, with the Pooverse Monsters Assemble coming out next year, there should be a lot of these movies already coming out. But
I think that is an amazing idea. I think we should hype ourselves up. Well, you have to watch all the films in hype of Bambi. You know, like we have to.
This will be an ongoing trend. This will definitely be an ongoing trend. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I
cool.
I 100% agree.
Cool. Well, let's move on to the next release.
All right.
Hell of a Summer. It's coming out in 2025, and I find this pretty interesting because it's actually being created by the kid, or he's not a kid anymore, but Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool.
What is this? Sorry, I don't know if you said that.
So it's going to be, from what I read, it's supposed to be a film, and it's going to be a slasher comedy film that includes a duo of Finn and this other character. And they're both basically escaping this slasher. And from the pictures and everything that I saw, it seems like it's coming off as like a horror theme, like Stranger Things. But like, I know Stranger Things already has horror elements, but maybe this dives into it a little bit more. I always loved Finn as a his acting in the
he's a good kid. Like, he's an amazing actor. Like, especially in Stranger Things. Like, even when he was that young, like, it was really enjoyable to watch him and the other kids.
Oh yeah, and I think that this will be a pretty cool movie. Yeah, so next one. Some of these are going to be drive-bys. We're just going to shoot through.
Just to kind of put it on here, I also didn't know this until I went back and rewatched it. Did you know that Finn is also one of the kids in It? I didn't know that.
So you're actually opening up a memory for me now, because I never correlate him with that movie until you just said that, and I do remember he's in there.
And he was one of the funniest characters in that movie.
Yeah, I mean this might it's It, but
yeah,
can I get your opinion on It? How do you feel about that?
The new one?
Yeah, the new ones. I've only seen the first one.
So the first one is really good in my opinion. It came out when I was a senior in high school. Actually, no, a junior in high school. And well, when we were junior, because we're the same age.
Yeah.
And I remember going to see it with a lot of friends, and it was really good. I remember really liking it, and I think I went back to see it like 2 more times. And the first watch is really good. I think that's what really drove me to it. But I think when it came to like the second time and the third time seeing it, you kind of already know what's going to happen. So it's not, that horror element's kind of gone. I mean, it's still funny, but like you already know what's going to happen. But I feel like there are other horror movies that I could go back and rewatch so many times and still be like, this is an amazing horror movie. The first time watching it, it's amazing. The second few other times watching it, if you already know what's going to happen, it doesn't feel like scary.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've seen the original ones, as most people have, and then I watched the first new one, and I forget the actor's name who played the clown.
Oh my God, yes,
he was wonderful, just wonderful. Like, he was great. But what I didn't like was, for some reason, it just, to me, and I don't know if this is just like a me thing, but it wasn't scary to me.
The original or the
new one? The original one actually to me is scarier than the new one. Yeah, I don't know, but I know a lot of people thought the new It was pretty scary.
I didn't think it was like the scariest thing in the world, because this is also, I think, the same time that Hereditary came out, and I think those are obviously two completely different films. I think I'm gonna put it like this: it feels like It is a modern Marvel film, where it's like, it's got to have jokes, it's got to have this and that. Hereditary is just straight like horror. Like, that's what, and I think that's what makes a good horror movie. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad horror movie, but it has a lot of things where it's like, okay, like it's enjoyable to watch, but like after a while it's like, all right, it's kind of a little annoying.
There's so many films that literally transcend the horror genre itself. And Aster, with all of his movies such as Hereditary and Midsummer, the cinematography and the art style in general across the board makes it to where you're not even watching a movie and you're just in this experience at this point, and you're having to go through this horrific event of whatever the main characters are going through. And I think that's what drives me so much to enjoying his style of filmmaking.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like what you're saying. It feels like the new It movie was just a bit produced. It felt highly produced in that Marvel-esque kind of style.
Like it needed to have jokes. Like kind of how, like, I don't want to say it's on like Ragnarok level of like what they're trying to do, but like it feels like with a serious tone movie, and then they got to throw in a couple, and they're kids. Obviously, they're kids. Have you seen the second one?
I haven't.
So the second one kind of goes into like, I don't really remember how the book went because I didn't really read the book, so I don't know why I'm saying I don't remember it. But basically the second one takes place when they're adults, and they start when they come back to, is it called Woodbury? Is that what it's called? The town?
I think I'm not entirely sure. It's somewhere in Maine.
Anyways, so they come back to the town that they live in, and when they're back, they start getting these, memories of what happened, to them as kids, but like individually. And it felt like, each individual. So it kind of followed a pattern where it's like, one character comes back into town, and then they have a flashback when they were a kid and something scary happens, and then like jump scare, boo. And then they're adults, and then something adult happens to them, like something scary happens to them as an adult. Then we go to the next character, and it rinse and repeats until you've seen all the characters come together. And then they're like, oh, you remember that fucking clown? Like, we gotta kill that guy.
Gotta kill him.
Yeah, and like, it's not as bad. But again, they have that like Marvel tone of how funny it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because the original was funny. But I feel like the first one made sense to be funny because they're kids. The second one, when they're adults, I'm not saying that they can't like crack a joke or two, but like it felt like they were like, okay, we saw something good with the first one. Let's do that again with the second one.
Yeah.
And for me, it didn't really work.
I totally agree. I mean, I didn't see the second one, but I can already tell you that in the first one, I still struggled a little bit. It felt like they were trying to capture that lightning in a bottle that Stranger Things had.
Right.
And it just didn't catch. It just didn't catch at all. But yeah.
I'm 100%
Next
agree.
movie.
Yep.
Is... Actually, it's a show. It's called Hysteria. It's a Peacock Plus for whoever has that. And it's coming out on October 18th. This one I found particularly interesting because it's actually a story about a varsity quarterback who disappears during the Satanic Panic in the late 1980s. And a struggling high school heavy metal band of outcasts realize that they can capitalize on the town's sudden interest in the occult by building a reputation as a satanic metal band until a bizarre series of murders, kidnappings, and reported supernatural activities trigger a leather-studded witch hunt that leads directly back to them. So, to me at least, this just seems like a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a good premise. I will say that. I don't have much more to say on it. I just kind of like, as you're talking about it and just telling me like what it is, like I can see it, but I couldn't tell you like where that could lead and how that could end up,
Yeah, I might have to start a Peacock Plus free trial after this show is fully come out.
I'm definitely waiting for. I'd wait for the whole show to come out before. I'm not.
Yeah,
paying,
I think I'm gonna do that too.
I'm not paying 2-3 times for Peacock.
Yeah, but I really like the idea of like the occult in general and like the Satanic Panic back in the day. So I remember talking to an older person one time, and basically they were telling me that their father wouldn't let them listen to any type of music like Aerosmith or any of that kind of music. So it's just like that's the level at which people were scared that Satan was entering rock music back in the day.
It was a lot of like things that like obviously is more like generalized now, but things like D&D, rock music,
Mm.
like raves, all that kind of stuff, like that's stuff that people associated with the devil
Yeah.
because it was something new to them and they didn't understand it. And I think a lot of the people who were in those types of like interests of that kind of stuff, they probably saw as like, oh, they're weird. They probably worship the devil or something like that, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always easy for people to deem someone else as the other.
Mm.
But moving forward, we have Final Destination 6
There's
sometime
another
in
one?
2025. It's the first Final Destination film in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the director claims that this time, Jonathan, this time, they have nailed down the concept and they're trying to divert from the usual formula that most of the movies follow. I know you've seen a lot of these guys, so I wanted to get your opinion on, like, how do you feel about them coming back after 10 years, and in what ways do you think that they can, like, what do you think he's talking about, diverting from the formula?
Going off of like what you said first, like when you first said Final Destination, it kind of brought to me one of my favorite like kills in a horror movie, like if that I can remember. Like when I think of like how the way people die in like a horror movie, like I have like a list of like people who have died in like a really iconic way. I think Final Destination has one of like a top 5 in there, where I don't know if you remember, spoilers for the movie, I don't remember if it was like the second, first, or third one. It was one of those where a gymnastic girl is doing the beam, and they make you think that the pole that she's swinging on is gonna break. And when she starts doing her stuff, a lot of stuff starts happening, like the spooky wind or whatever it is, the destination of final comes out. You start seeing that ghost wind, and it's like, oh, it's moving around stuff. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna be? Blah 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 blah. And then it starts loosening a screw on the gymnastics board, or on the pole that she's swinging on, but it doesn't fall off. She ends up being able to jump, but she lands on her head, and it's like, holy shit, that's not what I expected. And I loved how it made you think one thing, and then like something completely opposite happened.
Diverted
because you could watch a horror movie, like especially modern horror movies, you can tell when something is about to happen. You could be like, oh, jump scare is about to happen right now, and it just it's a little tedious sometimes. This movie with that kill was like, holy shit, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But with him saying that he has like a different, like, how did you describe it? How did he describe it?
He says that he's diverting from the typical formula that they've used in older movies.
I don't know, because Final Destination really has like a same pattern.
It's a pattern.
It has the same pattern of like, because it's not really something that you could beat. You just kind of have to survive,
Yeah.
So like maybe they'll introduce like what it is that's causing these problems, like why these people are having visions of these people's deaths, stuff like that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll go more into that, because it's always just been random person sees what's happening in the future. He sees a lot of people are going to die, and then either he does something about it or he doesn't. Like maybe they'll explain more. They never really go into like why those people are chosen to see that kind of stuff. So maybe he'll go in more into that.
Yeah, for sure. I am not. I don't have. I feel like I'm just giving off hater energy right now, but I don't have the biggest expectations for this movie.
No,
but,
I don't either. But like, I'm just saying, Final Destinations, like their movies are ass. Don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you that one. If you have you seen that one I was talking about?
No, I haven't seen that one.
You need to go watch that at some point, because it's actually really like, I think it's really well choreographed.
Yeah,
the way they like make it look like it's going to be something, and then they like make it something else. Like it's really good.
Yeah, cool. I'm definitely gonna. I mean, there's 5 before this, so
there's 5.
I believe I've only seen like the first and second, or the second and third. I can't even remember which one. It was so long ago.
I've seen the one where it begins with the plane, the one with the roller coaster, and then the one with on the traffic where the log comes out.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the all-time famous.
Yeah,
one.
that is,
That is-
dude. I have never had a bigger fear because of that
Yeah.
movie driving behind a log
I
truck.
think everyone does now. It's like you're just scared your face is gonna get smushed.
Dude, like I'm like, holy fuck, let me get from behind this truck.
What show was it that actually did something similar to that? It's the live action Death Note. Did you watch the live action Death Note?
I started it, I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I think I
similar.
stopped. I think I stopped it when they changed the rules of the Death Note from the anime to make it like easier for the movie to go on. And I was like, all right, I don't know. I fell asleep.
I mean, and this is like, well, one of the most mid reviews that I can give is whenever a show doesn't really speak to me or anything like that, but I don't dislike it. I usually just say it was fun. And honestly, that show was it was a fun time.
Can I say Willem Dafoe was really good as Ryuk? I really like Alex Wolff. Obviously, like I said earlier, Hereditary was really great. I've seen a few other things with him. I remember him in like Naked Brothers Band. I don't know if you remember that. That's like that's like our time.
Oh yeah, that's our time.
Because I say like, oh, he's the dude from the Naked Brothers Band. Who? Like,
yeah, dude. Back in the day, whenever those types of shows were coming out, what was that one mystery show that had? It was like it almost felt like it was. Oh, it was Anubis. Something Anubis. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, sorry. I'm
House of Anubis. Do you remember House of Anubis?
Can I here? Let me Google this real quick.
Yeah, Google this real quick because
Anubis. How spell Anubis?
You couldn't get me to smell Anubis.
Oh, it's with an Anubis.
Yeah.
What is this?
You don't remember like they would just spam you with ads on Nickelodeon for this show back in the day?
Dude, I don't remember this.
Yeah, dude, they would just spam. Watch House of Anubis on Nickelodeon.
Oh, maybe this came out in 2011.
Yeah, so whenever we were kids.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe Colleen would know what it is. I feel like I have a very small memory of getting like an ad for this and watching the first episode, but other than that, I don't know what the hell this is.
I'll be completely honest with you. I tried watching some of it and I just didn't like it because it was such. Yeah. It diverted from what Nickelodeon was so much.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It has. It's sad too because I can recognize one of the girls. It has a girl from the Bratz movies in it. I only know it is because my sister watched it. I promise.
No. Whenever me and Jonathan were kids, we also played the Bratz DS game together. The
PS2 game. I played the PS2 game.
Was it the PS2 game?
Where you can go to like the roller skating rink.
Yeah. Okay. I would come over to your place and I would just play that.
Yeah, dude, that was Ashlyn's game, but then I would play it more than her.
Yeah.
Growing up with a sister. Wow.
But let's keep on chugging along.
Let's do it.
These were the films and the shows that are coming out that I thought were pretty interesting on the horizon. Now, let's jump into some attractions that are coming out very soon. Yes.
Okay.
Is there a Six Flags near you? If so, a Saw experience is coming.
Oh, wow.
So, Saw Legacy of Terror experience is coming in October to Six Flags locations through their Fright Fest.
Okay.
This basically runs during Halloween time.
Yeah, so like Scarewinds for Carowinds.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically just their version of that. And it puts people in some of Jigsaw's traps. And there are a lot of rooms in there that they will drop you in that are similar to the movies. And it allows guests. This is what I thought was cool. It's not just a haunted house. It apparently allows guests to make certain decisions that can affect how the experience plays out.
Wow.
So I thought that was like kind of like
an escape room kind of vibe. Like
that's kind of what it's giving me. I was really struggling to figure out what they mean by that because they're calling it an immersive experience, but I'm like, what exactly does that mean?
Just like a Telltale kind of game where it's
that's kind of what it feels
like. You have to. One friend is on this side. Your other friend's on this side. Pull is whichever you want to die.
I would make y'all. You guys would have to start divvying out the biggest compliments to me for me to save you. Oh man. Okay, so it's going to be open at Six Flags Great Adventure, Six Flags Magic Mountain,
Mhm.
Six Flags Over Texas, and Six Flags Over Georgia, starting in early September and running through November 3rd.
I don't know if they really.
2024.
I don't really know if they have this information on it, but like it says Saw X. So is it gonna be the 10th movie that they just made, or is it gonna be based off of like all Saw movies?
I figure since the advertising has it as Saw X, it's going to be based upon those.
Did you see Saw X?
I did not. I've seen like
Really?
every other Saw movie. Yeah, I've seen every other Saw movie.
Me and Colleen watched all of like Dead Meat's, because I've seen all of them, but she hadn't seen all of them, so we watched all of Dead Meat, like the kill count of all the Saw movies, so that we can kind of go see this new one and have like knowledge of like what's gonna happen and everything like that. So we went to go see it. It's a fine movie. Like it's a Saw movie. Like it's really good. But again, it kind of did that thing that It Too did, where it has a pattern. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it has a pattern of like, for each individual person that's in it. But I think the story is kind of what drove it more, because it's like a prequel to John Kramer. First off, this man's life is just fucked. Like, this man got fucked so hard in so many ways. Like, I don't blame this man. Like,
Wait, did you just say it was a prequel?
It's a prequel to like John Kramer. I think it like.
I was about to ask you how he returns. I was like, is it like a Palpatine, like somehow Jigsaw return?
No, he's dead. He is dead. I don't know why they're trying to bring John Kramer back in all these movies when they killed him in the third one.
Yeah.
But I just like, I don't know. So I don't know. This man just, life is fucked, and I don't. Considering all this shit happened, he's a serial killer. Like,
yeah,
fuck shit happened to him.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, he actually had hella contingency plans after his death for all the movies that spawned after him.
Well, he had a lot of apprentices, and I don't. Is that a way of just them being like, how can we milk this more and have a reason why all this is happening after his death, or is it like, is this actually something they planned from the beginning?
I want to say after Saw 1. I mean, it was such a good standalone movie that they could have ended there, but at the same time, Saw 2 is my favorite. Like, it's such a strong movie.
Saw 3 has one of my favorite, like a very gruesome and one of my top 5. The arm twist and like that's a bad one. Like dude, as a kid watching that shit, it was hard, and I still think about that, because that is like the one way I wouldn't want to go. Because it's so slow, and yet he can't do anything because it's up to the other guy, not him. So it's like, fuck.
You gotta choose one. You gotta choose one Saw trap that you have to get killed from. What are you choosing? Like
I have a chance to escape, or
no, you will.
Oh, I just have to die to it.
Yeah, I already know mine. Mine's gonna have to be the shotgun brace that shoots you in the head, because I feel like that's so quick.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I don't know. I feel like the reverse bear trap is a little rough. I feel like it wouldn't kill you instantly. The carousel, I'd be the carousel shotgun, I'd be a little too panicked on that one. But I'm thinking, like, what's instant death? Like, what is something that I'm like not gonna feel anything, and I'm good? I don't know, because you said a good one. That just done.
I feel like that's like the only.
That's like the only one. And then there's the one with the in the second one, the beginning, where he has the thing on his, like the thing that's gonna like clamp together.
Yeah.
The helmet. Yeah. I don't know if that would be instant or not. Like,
I mean, that one's more percentage wise. Like, it could be.
It could. Yeah, right. Could. Like you could not feel anything, but there's a percentage you might.
But if you
shotgun
do,
to the
it's
head,
gonna suck.
Like, shotgun to the head, like, done. Like, her head was blown off.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I'll tell you. But now here's another one. If you want to kind of go more into this, which one do you feel you would have the best chance of escaping? Because there's a lot of dumbasses in my opinion. I'm gonna go on and give you mine. There was a lot of dumb people um in the eighth one, Jigsaw, and the one where the guy got tied up above the spinning thing where he's like being lowered down and he has to grab the thing and just pull the brake.
Yeah.
If you stay calm, which I know that's hard, that's probably hard during that kind of moment. If you just pull the brake, that's it. Because he did. Because the thing is he was right. The girl stops it when he's right there at it, and he could have just grabbed it and would have been out. But it ends up going back, and he ends up just dying. So I feel like out of all the ones I could think of off the top of my head, that's probably one of the easiest ones to escape. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think, oh gosh, mine's going to have to be, just because I know there's a surefire way of me getting out. I believe, I can't remember which one this was from. It's where the dude has to get the key out of his eye.
No, that's the one with the clamp.
I think I could do it.
Fuck no.
Dude, but it's a surefire way that you know how to get out, and it's very likely you can get out. It's just you gotta do it. Just you gotta do it.
Do you think you'd have the adrenaline to do it?
How far back? It was in the eye, right?
It was in the back of his eye. It was like basically sewn in the back of it. So he would have lost an eye. Because the way I'm thinking of it is, what trap can I get out of without losing a limb or losing a body part?
He had like a scalpel too, didn't he?
Yes,
like
he had a scalpel. He had a scalpel.
Okay. Yeah, I would just, okay. This is going to be gruesome. I'm sorry, everyone. I would take the scalpel and I would just mush up my eye until it's just like a soup. And then I would just like scoop it out and
Jesus Christ.
The eye.
You think you could do that in a minute?
But here's the deal. I don't have to think about, is the eye salvageable at this point? No. I have the key and I know the eye is gone. It's absolutes. And that's what we're dealing in here. We're Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's okay. Fucked.
Dude, with the Saw experience though, they're also coming out with a Leatherface one.
Ooh, Leatherface is actually really fucking scary. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one is so fucking scary.
Dude, they're coming out with a new Leatherface game, no?
Are you talking about the multiplayer one?
Yeah.
It's already came out and it's ass, apparently.
Oh, really?
I think what made the Friday the 13th game really good was it embraced how shitty it was. You know?
Oh wait, the Friday the 13th?
Oh, hello.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey buddy.
Come on.
Audience, everyone. This is Henry.
He is
Henry.
He is my baby boy. Here's my son, and he's gone.
So, you said, I mean, jumping back, that Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, I think
killer.
I think they really didn't try to be like, we're working on the bugs. Like, we know that the graphics aren't the best right now, and we're gonna fix them. Don't you worry. No, they were just like, fucking dance moves. Let's just add that shit. Like. And it just really, I don't know. It was really interesting to play it. Like even though it was the same concept every time, I think what made that game really fun was the proximity chat of working together, the walkie-talkies, having, hearing your friends die from afar, even being in random lobbies. If everybody in that game has a mic, you're gonna have like a great time. And sadly, I don't know if you heard about this, they're actually going to be shutting down the game. Yeah,
I heard about that. Is it already shut down? Because I remember hearing that a while back.
I think it's going to be at the beginning of next year, sometime. Okay. And I was trying to get one more video out of this game, but I have friends who just do not want to touch this game. They're like, I don't want to fucking play that. Dude, it looks so boring, and I'm like, dude, no, it's such a great time. I will hop
on that so quickly with you. It was such a fun game.
It is such a fun game. Like even
they came out. I was gonna say they came out with a Predator version.
They did
too. That I heard was really bad.
Did you? Oh my god, it was awful. You want to know something funny? Actually, with that too, the Predator game actually had a skin in it where you could do different skins, but they actually had a bundle where you could be Dr. Disrespect.
Oh.
And so Dr. Disrespect was the Predator.
Oh.
And that didn't age well.
Oh. Oh. Well. Yeah.
if you catch what I'm saying.
Oh, I catch your drift quite well. Yeah. No, that's funny.
I thought it was very ironic.
Yeah, no, very ironic.
Yeah.
With the Texas Chainsaw Massacre experience, park goers will navigate Harlow, and they'll step into iconic scenes from the film, including the barn, sunflower field, the crawl of death, and the dead street, before facing the final epic showdown with one of horror's most notorious killers, Leatherface.
Dude, that actually sounds sick. Because Leatherface is scary as hell. Like,
oh yeah, I think he's one of the scariest of the old slasher films.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I just think like I feel like you could outrun Jason and Michael Myers and all that kind of stuff, and even Chucky. Like you could just kick him.
Dude, I would kick the shit out.
And Ghostface is just a normal person. You could beat the shit out of. Ghostface gets fucking rocked in that movie, in the first movie. And like, yeah, they had the advantage that there was two of them, but like, if it was just that one, spoilers. I'm sorry, I did not. If you haven't seen Ghostface,
I feel like for this whole pod, it's like spoilers for a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, but it's just a normal person. Leatherface is just this huge man-child who is just like wailing around a chainsaw and just chasing. That's scary as fuck.
Because you don't know what he's gonna do.
Right.
You do not know what he's gonna do.
Well, that's like the xenomorphs. Like xenomorphs are fucking scary because they're a literal predator. Like,
oh yeah,
they're at like they're like lions basically, like hunting you.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes them scary. Like that's like those are making the scary. Like there's a difference between scary and iconic. Jason, Michael Myers to me is iconic. They're not scary. Well, yeah. I mean, if they were killing my friends, yeah, I'm sure they're scary.
You know, it's funny that me and Cameron saw the new Halloween movie whenever it came out. And whenever we saw it, we actually... I didn't think it was scary at all, but she was terrified. But I should preface with this, too. She's terrified of horror movies in general. But, like, I do think that there's, like, a group of people who, like, that slasher mentality of just a quiet killer. Yeah. That is terrifying to some people, but... I think people who are in horror maybe don't find that as scary. So it appeals to a larger audience.
I remember seeing the first remake they did of Halloween, where Michael Myers comes back.
Yeah.
And I'm having such a brain fart. What is the main character's name? Not like in the movie, the actress. My God. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, yeah.
She, like, you know... Like it's a fine movie as like if you know it's a slasher movie, it has good kills, has all that kind of stuff. But scary, it's not that scary of a movie.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you on that one. So those are some cool experiences coming out. Now we're gonna dive into some cool horror games that are coming out in the future, and I thought that this one was fucking cool.
all right.
Directive 8020 2025 release, Dark Pictures horror game. It's a space themed horror game, and it's basically a survival horror game that is about you on a ship that crashes on a planet 12 light years away from Earth. And you apparently had to get away from Earth because it was dying, and you're on a colony ship. Now, you're being hunted on this new planet by aliens that can mimic your actions, and it kind of sounds a lot like Alien Isolation, but in a Dark Pictures format to me, like to where you're being hunted, and so like there's this predator aspect, and you have to dodge them. I think it's a pretty cool like setting that they're putting this next one in.
I think they all the games of Dark Pictures has really good settings. I know Man of Maiden was on like a haunted ship. There was another one that I had started playing that was like in a haunted like mansion or like a serial killer mansion. It actually followed like a actual serial killer. I don't remember. Don't ask me who it was. Colleen would know better than I would.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is these games feel like they're a little underdeveloped, in my opinion. They're very buggy. They're very laggy. Until Dawn, I think, is a very great game. Like, it's very simple. Don't get me wrong, but I think simple doesn't mean that it's bad. I think simple, if you do things that are simple and do it right, it really comes out really good. And I think Until Dawn really did that for me. Like, Until Dawn, like, I love like the choices, like, of not knowing what to do. With the other games, it feels like I just, it doesn't feel like I have much freedom as Until Dawn gave me. I don't know. That's just me.
They put their whole back and everything into that first game.
They did. They really did. And they're remaking it too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm going to have to get Cameron to play it.
I got Colleen to play it. Dude, we finished it in like 2 days.
No, I'm going to have to get Cameron to play it because I can press the buttons if she just makes the decisions. I think she might be too scared.
I had Colleen play it. Like, she did all the controls. She did every movement, all the like don't move stuff. Like,
yeah.
She had fun doing it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I think she'd enjoy that. It's scary, but it's a
simple.
Good one.
It's simple and scary.
I feel like Man of Medan was underdeveloped.
Is that how you say it? Medan?
I think it's Medan.
I always said Maiden. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. The world may never know. But anyways, I think this is still a cool setting nonetheless, and I will definitely be giving it a try.
Dude, I fucking love Alien Isolation. Yeah. If you ever play it and want someone to sit there with you while you play it, I will fucking sit there and watch you play it.
I think that'd be a good time if we did that.
I love Alien Isolation. Like, it is
one
of my favorite games.
And it also helped me so there's no like hiccups if I don't know what I'm doing.
Fun story. I'll make it short. In Alien Isolation, you actually have like a little motion detector.
Yeah.
When I first played the game, I didn't, I was just kind of playing like, where do I need to go? And it took me forever to know where I was going. But what they don't tell you, or if they did, I didn't read it. The motion detector actually has like a little like chart on the outside that like follows. It tells you where to go.
It's like a track.
It's like a compass that like tells you where to go. Like, go this way, go that way, and it's like. So the second time I played it, I beat it in like 10 hours, and then the first time I played it, I think it took me like 24 hours.
Well, I remember I was at the beginning and I just didn't know where to go.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. And like before you get the heartbeat sensor, it's a little harder to know where you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't think you get the heartbeat sensor before the xenomorph actually starts coming after you. So you have it. There is a chance. There actually is a chance that the xenomorph can come after you even before you unlock where it's actually starting to hunt you. Because I've had it. I've had it happen, and it's freaky as shit.
Well, I know the AI for the alien itself is like really good.
Taylor, if we start talking about this, I will talk about this for hours. You might want to move on.
That's unfortunate for us because Mr. VR Man.
Oh,
there's actually a new Alien VR game coming out.
Oh my god!
Called Alien Rogue Incursion. Yeah, this is actually going to be coming out December 19th.
Wait, is it a PlayStation exclusive like VR game though?
Let me look that up real quick.
Because if it is, then you have to get their like VR thing. If it's coming to PC, I can use my Quest and I can play it. And
it'll be on Microsoft. Yep, Windows. So
not Steam.
Microsoft Windows. That includes.
Is it coming to Steam? That's all I need to know.
Yep, it is.
Fuck yeah.
Yep, coming to Steam. I'm so looking forward to watching gameplay of this. And I think it's going to be a fun...
Do we have a release date?
Yeah, December 19th.
December 19th, okay.
And basically, I'm up on Alien hype right now.
I am too.
Yeah. That actually leads into our main topic of the day, if you can believe it, is Alien Romulus.
I knew this was coming. I knew this actually came out last week, right? Or something like that?
It came out
2 weeks ago.
I think August 16th, if I'm not wrong. Here,
I saw it last week.
I saw it literally 2 days ago. Yeah, August 16th it came
Okay.
out. So, your initial thoughts, your reaction.
Okay. I really so before this movie, let me give context. Before this movie, I hadn't seen Prometheus or Covenant. I don't know why I haven't. As much as I love Aliens, I don't know why I didn't go out of my way to watch them. Um, so when this movie was announced and before the movie came out, we actually sat down to watch Prometheus and Covenant. And I heard a lot of mixed things about the movies, so that's kind of why I didn't really see
Yeah.
them, because I have a lot of like, if I hear the movie's kind of not good, I don't really try to go out of my way to watch it. And it's also, I also with movies now, I also try to watch movies with Colleen. So I'm like, oh, I really want to watch this, but I also really want to watch it with Colleen because I think she'll want to watch it. And we just kind of have different schedules, so it's a little harder to do that. So it just never came about. When this movie was announced, we sat down and watched them both back to back. So we watched Prometheus, Covenant. Prometheus, to me, is a really good movie. I don't know why people hated it. I thought it was really good. Covenant is strong. I don't think it had. I think it had better, like, alien stuff than characters, but Prometheus had more characters that I was
Yep.
like, holy shit, these are like
Yep.
badass characters.
Yeah.
And when we went to go see Romulus, it was kind of the same thing as Covenant, where it was like, actually no, I would say it's more the same thing with Prometheus, where it's like I thought the characters were really strong. The alien I really enjoyed, don't get me wrong, but I feel it didn't. Actually, I'm lying. I'm 100% lying. It's a great movie. I don't know what I was trying to say, because I remember coming out of the movie theater, I was trying to get that initial reaction of what I thought of the movie, and I remember it being like, I was like, I don't really know how to feel about it, because it's a great slasher film. It's not a horror film. It's not scary. Like,
Interesting.
I that's what I thought. Like, the xenomorph is scary. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
and the face huggers are scary as hell. But I think I was going off of what the trailer was showing. I feel like the trailers kind of, and this is probably just Hollywood in general. It felt like the trailer was more like showing it to be like, this is gonna be like a horror film, like
Yeah.
like horror. Like, I don't know. I was thinking more. I was thinking more something like Blair Witch or like Hereditary, kind of scary, where it's like, I don't know, I like more suspenseful. It didn't. I didn't feel too much suspense, and it felt. I think there were a lot of things that kind of made me mad too, because going into the film, I love, again, Alien Isolation, one of my favorite games, and you might, I don't know if you ever got this far, but in Alien Isolation, you actually get a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You get a shotgun. You can't fucking kill the alien.
No.
So how is she killing like 20 of them with like one AR?
It kind of is similar to like the Aliens movies where they're Aliens movie where they just kill like so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of does defeat, like, Alien Isolation exists in this, like, the alien is so strong comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you had a good but slightly lukewarm reaction to the movie.
When it first came out, when I first saw it, yes. The more I sit on it, the more I'm like, okay, it's actually a really good film. Like, to me, I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10. Like, that's a solid movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, but compared to Alien, like the first one, and Aliens, to me, those are like 10 out of 10 movies.
Cool, interesting. Okay, well, me and Cam actually did the exact same thing you and Colleen did, where we watched Prometheus and Covenant, because she had never seen either of those. I had seen them whenever they came out, but I went back and I watched them with her, and Prometheus I found to be just as amazing as it was whenever I left it. It was such a great film. I mean, from top to bottom, I just loved it. And then Covenant, I didn't remember having as many issues as I had with it after I watched it again. First off, why do they just kill James Franco right off rip? Like
something actually with that, we were watching it, and as like she's like trying to open the case, I'm like, that guy looks like James Franco.
No, I literally said to Cam, I looked over at her, I said, that's James Franco.
I was like, that guy looks like James Franco. And then it started showing the video of like the memories that like the videos he had sent her. I'm like, it is James Franco.
Yeah. And I just keep on thinking of him from The Interview.
Dude,
I love that guy.
God.
I love him so much.
Jesus
I love
Christ.
him so much. But then moving into Romulus, my expectations were we were going to follow David in
I was
his
really
plans.
hoping we would see David again. I'm really upset that we didn't.
That idea of David coming back, I didn't care about it after I saw the movie, because let me just tell you, one of my favorite horror movies I've ever seen this is. And let me tell you why.
Oh, you said Romulus is your favorite?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
From top to bottom, this thing is a standalone alien film, in my opinion, that you don't need to watch any of the others to understand, and it exists
I disagree
on its
with that.
own.
I disagree with that.
Oh.
I think the first one, at least.
Yeah. See, Cameron didn't see Alien, the first one, and
Okay.
I know that one has tie-ins, but the reason I say you don't need to see any to see this one is because even if you don't know who the aliens are or anything like that, you're instantly thrown into the world that they live on, which is the minor planet.
Right.
And then you realize, I just think as if I was a new viewer, and then you go up to space and you find, oh, they're trying to escape this minor planet. They go into this cryo room and there's these aliens hanging on the wall. It's like, to me at least, you don't even need to understand what those are to know this is danger. And then they introduce the horrific elements of the facehuggers latching on to you. I thought that the facehugger room that they had to tiptoe through was masterfully done.
That was really well done.
It was masterfully done.
That was really well done, I will admit.
Yeah.
I don't like, not that I don't know, because he was like, don't sweat, don't blah blah blah, but if you're raising the temperature of the room to the body temperature of your own body,
I was thinking about that.
How are they not sweating?
I was thinking about that. Wouldn't they just heat up as well?
Yeah, right. Right. Well, that's what I was kind of thinking. I mean, I didn't really like think of it too much like that. I'm like, oh, that's a genius move to raise the temperature of the room, or you know, something. But I don't know.
I was along for the ride on that part, and then I got through it, and then the AI that they had in this one, I forget his name, but
that really tall guy.
Yeah, he's like a protagonist, but at the same time he's working so rationally that it shows you that, like, if you work so rationally in life, you lose any humanity behind like the decisions you can make. And at the same time, like,
I'm sorry, we're talking about two completely different people. I thought you were talking about the thing at the end. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh no, I'm talking about the brother
android
Andy.
Dude,
yeah, the android.
I was gonna actually say that Andy stole the movie.
Such a great character.
Was the best character in that film.
He was so great.
Andy was so good. Like the from going to like a loving brother to the AI, and then having Rook's mission, the way he just transitioned as like an actor, that like I believe that he was like a bad guy.
It was so wonderful.
Like to play two different characters. Like that was.
It's actually similar to what David had to do, the actor for David in Covenant.
And that's why I really enjoyed David. Like that's why I was upset that David didn't return.
The
but
androids
then again,
are taking over these movies.
yeah, like, I was like, you know, it's insane that like, you know, David was like the star. Now, okay, I'm actually gonna say this: David was better in the second one in Covenant. In the first one, Shaw was the star of the show. She is a badass fucking character.
Oh
like,
yeah,
she's up there. To me, she's up there with Ellie.
Really?
Or Ellen. I'm sorry.
Ellen's the one from
Ellen
from
Ripley.
Isolation. From Isolation, right?
No, that's Amanda. That's her daughter.
Oh, Ellen Ripley's the
Ellen
one
Ripley
from
is
the main.
Ellen Ripley is Sigourney Weaver.
That's
like,
right.
The
that's
original,
right.
like.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, dude.
Can I say this too? and this might be, I think it's a lot of things that people caught on to. I feel like the Alien movies kind of have like a pattern of how they
Yeah,
how they work.
yeah. It does this. It goes up and it goes down, and then there's another up at the end.
Yeah, right. Like it makes you feel that you're safe, and then there's something else. Which then, if they, to me, if they make another film, I'm gonna have that idea in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really hope that if they do it again, they don't like have that kind of, how do I say it? They don't have that rhythm. They don't have that like up, down,
Yeah.
up, and then
And
down.
there's some really cool nods to the old movies, such as like the bitch line and whatnot.
That was
And
that
then
was Colleen didn't get that because she hasn't seen Aliens, because
yeah,
we were
so
watching chronologically.
everyone in the theater that I was in and did a little chuckle after that. It was
That
kind of
is,
a nice moment.
it is
Yeah.
amazing because I was like, oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
The the ice, but hey, they didn't have a flamethrower at the end. They had
Dude,
a cryo
yeah.
gun.
And that kills aliens. Like, where the fuck was that in Alien Isolation?
For sure. And then, okay, we have to talk about it. The final humanoid alien.
That, okay, I'm very confused on what that thing was, because how did it come to be in that form? Because it was, it because she injected herself with that stuff?
She injected the stuff that they had created, so
Yeah.
therefore it made that weird alien hybrid thing.
The stuff that they found in Prometheus in the jars. That's
Kind of, because for what I'm learning is that the space station was trying to extract their like top tier evolutionary parts of who they are,
Right.
and basically this was just a little bit of extract from that. And whenever it's injected into someone, it doesn't create an alien xenomorph, but it creates this. And well, I think she was pregnant as well, so what it did was the fetus then became. Wait, was she the pregnant one?
She was, yeah, she was the
Yeah, she was
pregnant
the
one.
pregnant one.
And she actually, something I thought was funny, you know, we always say like a chest burst, and like, you know, it's like almost giving birth. She actually gave birth
Yeah.
to this like creature,
Oh yeah.
which I thought
And
was
it
very ironic.
I don't know how you feel about it, but it was terrifying.
It is. It was
the
very.
creature.
It was very terrifying. Have
It
you
was-
seen? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The smile,
Oh my
everything about it, like, and then the jump scare at the end. I
That-
didn't even
that
find
got
it
me.
cheesy.
That got
I thought
me.
it was great.
Colleen
I thought it
was like,
great.
"How did I get you?" And I'm like, I don't know. There were
I didn't find
there
it
were
cheap.
parts. I'd say it's not a good horror movie, but there were parts that actually like made me jump. But again, and this is probably an unpopular opinion for horror movies, jump scares don't make a good horror movie. You know?
No, nope, nope.
Jump scares don't make a good horror game. Like nothing
Yeah.
like that. You know, if you base your movie off of jump scares, it's, to me, it's not a good film. But Romulus did it in a way where it was actually scary, and it like it was scary as in the jump scare, and like actually like being like, holy shit, what the fuck do I do? Like, what the fuck would I
Yeah.
do in this situation? 'Cause that's how I like to look at horror movies.
Yeah, for me at least, you know, I said earlier, I give movies that I find meh a fun review, but this one was so much fun, and I loved it so much. And I can't say I was scared the whole time because I watched so many horror movies in
Right.
general, but I just loved it. Like I can't even like describe. I just thought the portrayal of the alien itself was so cool. The imagery. It was also much fun, and Cameron was scared the entire time. She had seen Prometheus and Covenant, which are not scary
They're not.
movies,
They're
really.
more build up, in my opinion.
They're build up, and she saw this one. She's like, she was doing this the entire time in her seat, and it was so funny. It's so funny watching her. She got out and she looked at me and she said, "You did not tell me it would be a horror movie," and I was like, "That's what they are." Other than that, cool moments. I thought the anti-gravity acid scene
That was pretty cool.
super cool. I thought
Yeah.
that was really, really creative. I thought it was fun. What other cool scenes were there?
Can I say, I think something that I really enjoyed that I don't think that they went really into with the movies, unless they did go into it with like anything past Aliens, or maybe in Aliens. I don't really, off the top of my head, I don't really remember if they really went into this, but with them showing that the xenomorphs take people and nest them, like for
Yeah.
face huggers, that's something the game went into really hard.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like
I
that
do
there
like
was
that
a
they were pulling
movie.
on that.
I like that there was a movie that actually explained that that happens. Now they didn't really like be like, oh my god, like it's a nesting farm. Like he was just kind of like, oh, she's not dead because there's not a dead face hugger in front of her.
Yeah. I overall, I mean, my ultimate thoughts on this movie in general are just like so much fun. It's one of my favorite horror movies right now. You're going to see a poster of this here at some point in the future. Like that's how much I loved it.
And I don't hate that you think it's a like one of your favorite horror movies, because it is a really solid horror movie. And I think like I should give it another chance. Like going back and watching it when it comes out on like whether what streaming service it comes out on. And I think I would like it a lot more. Probably going back and watching it and knowing that like it's an alien movie. It's a like Ridley Scott movie, you know? Like I went into that doing that. But I think what made me mad again was that it has that same formula of Prometheus and Covenant. That's what kind of pissed me off the most.
Understandable. That's not a hot take, I don't think. That's very understandable. I think overall I might have gone in with this kind of bias of I was ready to be bought in. I was ready for the ride. I was excited for it, and it exceeded. A Covenant was so bad that I think Romulus just exceeded that. Like, because
like what would you give a rating the Covenant?
Covenant, 4.
Really?
Overall, Covenant was really bad because it dove. Okay, lore-wise, would have been a really good book because it explains so much about the species that was trying to kill us and whatnot. And then David, his master plan, it's so like grand of an adventure. And then at the end, I thought the special effects were particularly bad on the ship. Yeah. Whenever it was like zooming around and the aliens like crawling all around on it, I thought that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think that's what this movie, the new movie, did better. Was they didn't use much CGI with the aliens. Like it was an actual like robot, like how they did with the original one.
Yeah,
I really like that. And also the like going back to that big old thing that we were talking about at the end. Did you know that was like an actual guy in that costume?
I saw the guy.
Yeah, he's a high schooler.
What?
He's in high school.
I saw a clip, and I'll insert it actually right here. It's of that guy in the actual alien outfit, that huge one, and he's talking to the director, and it's so cool seeing him because you see the practical effect of it, and it's a terrifying outfit.
But there's another picture of like him in high school, like because I think he's a junior or senior in high school. Like he's like a kid, but he's like 7 feet tall.
Golly.
Yeah, he might play basketball, but God Almighty, I can't imagine the back pains this man's having being that damn tall.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm 6'3" and I'm having a lot of fucking back pains. Like
yeah, no. I mean, and he's very slender too.
Yeah, no. Oh my God, and I think it was perfect for him.
He'd be a good Slender Man. We need a good Slender Man movie.
Don't talk. Dude, we already got a good Slender Man movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, the 2016 film, I think it was.
The critically hated movie.
Hang on, I can tell you right now, it's Slender.
Yeah, no, that's a universally hated movie.
Yeah, it came out in 2016. It has a fucking 3.1 out of 10.
Nice.
That is god awful.
That's dog shit.
That is awful.
Cool. Do you have any other thoughts on the movie itself?
I think I had one. I couldn't remember. I remember I wanted to talk about like how they went into them like taking the humans and then actually like using them as nesting. Like they find the nesting ground. And then I wanted to talk about the guy is like an actual guy. Andy stole the show. The female role, the female character, I really enjoyed her too. I I think that's something that the Ridley Scott movies do really well.
Oh yeah,
Is they write really well, like powerful women characters and
yeah, strong protagonists.
strong protagonists that are females, because Ellen Ripley is one of my favorite like characters in movies. Uh, Amanda Ripley in the game is really good. Shaw again, she was one of my favorites in Covenant. Prometheus, I didn't really feel as much of a connection, and it really being like her as a badass compared to the other women.
Shaw, right?
Remember, she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And she had to cut open that thing.
Yeah.
And live and stitch herself back up and stay like strong through it all. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
yeah.
That's
she was great.
That's a badass. And I'm not thinking like you write a really good female character when you don't think to yourself, this is a really well female protagonist.
Yeah.
This is a good protagonist. That's kind of how I see it. And
yeah, it's like
I think a lot of films, and especially a lot of like, I'm gonna kind of say this, anime kind of has a big problem of writing women characters too. That's a video for another time. This is a horror.
For sure.
This is a horror
overall
podcast.
What's your rating again for Romulus?
I said 7.5.
Cool. I'm not gonna go much higher than you. I'm gonna go 8.5 on this guy.
Okay. I mean, like, and like kind of what you said for Covenant, you said it was a 4 out of 10. I liked it a little bit more than you, like, but not much. I would say like 5. It's an average movie. Prometheus, I think, is the original one. I think that one's like a 7.
7.5 for me.
Yeah, I think it's a solid fucking movie. Like
yeah,
like I remember hearing a lot of people hated it. So, and I was like, I don't get why.
Yeah, it's a solid movie in general across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump into our hot take of the day.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So, I scoured the internet looking for one hot take on horror. Our hot take of the day.
All right, I'm ready.
This comes from Reddit.
Ooh.
And a user said, the found footage genre, in general, sucks. And let me give you some responses to this post that were there.
Okay.
Word. One after another with nothing. Literally nothing happening for a good hour or so. I guess I'm too old to watch what looks to be somebody on YouTube wander around and set up cameras for 60 minutes. That shit bores me to death.
Yeah.
And then one person commented underneath that, so much this. Fuck you, Blair Witch.
I'm gonna go and put this out there too. Blair Witch is the top 5 horror movie for me.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Such a good movie.
Such a good movie. Not the remake. Not the remake.
Too.
Not
no,
the remake.
The remake's great too. The remake is great too.
Can I be honest? I haven't really seen much of it, so I can't really have an opinion of it. I think you told me that the remake was ass. Did you not?
No, I think we did have a conversation one time.
When we lived together back in college.
No, I really liked the remake.
Okay.
I might have talked to you about, because the original film is really divisive.
Oh my god! Like, the original film is like I'm not gonna say masterpiece.
Well,
but,
a lot of people hate it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say names here. I actually sat down with some of our cousins who are younger than us, and they were talking about the Blair Witch, and I told them, I was like, I love the Blair Witch. Me and Colleen were talking about how much we loved it, and we sat down and watched it, and it felt like they were bored the entire time.
It's a slow burn.
It is, but
even the remake is a slow burn.
Yeah, okay. But see, the thing is, to me, is I think what made that movie really good was it felt real. It felt like, is this actually like a it felt like was this a snuff film?
Chat, is this actually happening?
Chat. This is crazy. Chat.
Chat, is this happening? Is he real?
Let me get a fucking L.
How can you say? Here's my opinion.
Okay.
How can you say the found footage horror genre is bad when you have movies like Creep and Creep 2?
I haven't seen Creep. I don't know what that is.
One of the best found footage horror movies ever. give you a little like teaser of it. It's
I'm-
basically about this guy
Mhm.
who is a Craigslist, or he's a videographer,
Mhm.
and he's looking on Craigslist for videoing jobs to
Okay.
do, and he gets this one ad from this guy who's like, "Hey, I have terminal cancer, and I just want you to video me for a day." And so he goes to his house and he just starts videoing him, and the guy does the weirdest things, and it kind of goes from there. And the guy is a little bit creepy,
Yeah.
you could say. And so, but it is such a well done movie. Both the first and the second one are really awesome. I don't know if the third one's come out yet, but if it has, I need to go watch it because the
When were
first
they
two
made?
are just amazing. In Netflix era, like early Netflix era,
Oh.
like 2016, I want to say.
like
the first one.
VHS like era.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's such a good movie.
Yeah, I feel like people who have opinions on like found footage horror movies are people who have only seen things like Blair Witch and like Paranormal Activity, because those are
Yeah.
those are your more common found footage horror movies. One of my favorites, and I think I talked to you about this last time I saw you. Hell House, LLC. Hell House is it's a very, I'm not gonna say one of my favorites. Found footage wise, it's like a top 3 movie. Like, but horror movie wise, I'd say like top 10, top 15, somewhere around there. It's really good. It's really well put together. I really like the horror aspect of, because it's basically about, the movie starts with a news channel talking about a haunted house that basically went wrong, where people died and they don't know how people died, and it's basically these people doing a documentary on what happened, and they're trying to be like, and they're like, people say the basement was where shit went wrong, and everybody who was in the basement either died or didn't see what happened. They just kind of were running. They were running.
Yeah.
They end up finding one of the girls who was running the house, and she has all the footage that because they were doing like their own like filming of everything. Like, they were just filming everything while putting the haunted house together, like the people who put it together. And she gives them the footage, and they're going through it, and it basically plays of them watching it. You don't really hear their reactions to it, but like, it's them like recording. Like, there's like one where like they're recording something, the people who actually were in the haunted house putting it together. They're walking like through a hallway, and there's a figment that's in a room, and you kind of see it for a split second, and then the video rewinds and pauses on that figment. So it kind of has that same documentary kind of style. And again, to me, it was really well put together. It had I think movies that have really small budgets are some of the best movies.
They're forced to utilize what they have instead of having this ginormous budget to just do whatever you want.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Yep.
Not every small budget movie is good. Skinamarink is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Shitty fucking movie.
You told me it was boring from top to bottom, and that I was actually going to watch it until you told me.
You ever watch Paint Dry? It's more entertaining than that. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
That movie. Now, I will say, and also I'm going to put this into, Colleen can hear me in the other room, and she just texted me. She said, Hell House is so fucking good. Shit was scary as fuck.
I need to go watch it.
It is really good. There is other ones, but I think that I think that the other two, I didn't hear good things about it. I think they just kind of wrote off the success of how good the original was, and then they made like crappier ones. I think they kind of go more into story, but I think the first one just kind of gives you everything that you need to know, you know?
Oh yeah no, I totally agree. So what's your final take on the found footage genre? Found
footage can go really wrong. Found footage can go really right. It just really depends on how you do it. I think if you're just trying to make jump scares off of, like, I think if you're just doing like what Paranormal Activity does, where it's like, ooh, what was that? It's just in that found footage movement. I don't think that's a good movie. I'm gonna talk about one more movie that I think is a really good example of a good found footage movie that I think is criminally underrated. As Above, So Below.
Ah,
That is a fucking great movie. That is a like banger.
yeah,
Like it's good. It like, and you could tell it was like cheaply made, but I love the environment that they're in the catacombs of France. And if you don't know anything about the catacombs, it's tunnels that are under France, and there's like actual skulls under there. And I don't know if they actually filmed in there, but they're exploring the catacombs and trying to go somewhere. I don't remember where, and they end up getting lost and end up finding like cult stuff and like you know like demonology kind of shit. It's really good. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, really recommend. I also recommend Hell House.
yeah. No, I think we're both on. I mean, I have a special fondness for found footage just because of my growing up with the Blair Witch Project,
Right.
and I think it speaks to our generation of technology owners. Like we have a camera in our hands at all times, and so I think it relates to me much more and scares me as someone who eats and digests a lot of horror, that it relates to me.
Yeah.
You know, I think I had a dream one time that I just woke up and I look over and a unknown number is FaceTiming me, which I don't even know if you can do that. It was terrifying.
This is a dream, you said, or you just woke up?
A dream, and it's like technology in general is like this next frontier. Speaking of technology, like it's the next frontier of horror. But speaking of technology as in the horror genre, there's this new AI horror movie coming out that I think looks really bad. I can't remember the name of it, but actually, let me look that up.
What do you
quick.
mean by an AI movie? Like, what do you mean by that?
It's about how AI can go wrong.
Okay.
It is called Afraid, but in the middle it's AFRAID. So
It's like an Alexa that like goes rogue.
I saw the preview for it, and it did not look good at all.
Yeah.
So it can go either way. I
Yeah.
mean, I think Black Mirror does really well with like integrating technology into how terrifying it can be.
Right.
So
I
yeah.
agree with that. But like found footage movie, man. Like I have a very soft spot in my heart for it because those are some of my favorite movies. I think movies that didn't do them great. I had one off the top of my head when you were talking, and I can't remember it. Give me like 2 seconds.
I'm so sorry. Mockumentaries are kind of in the same
Yeah,
vein.
mockumentaries are the exact same thing.
So Lake Mungo, best
Haven't seen it.
found footage.
I need to watch it.
Okay. Let me tell you this. You go watch Lake Mungo.
Okay.
Come back and tell me what you think.
You need to watch Hell House then.
I'll watch Hell House before the next time.
Watch it with
Lake
Cam.
Mungo.
I want to see it.
If I can get her to. She is definitely afraid of horror.
Is she afraid of clowns?
Everything horror related.
Is she afraid of clowns though? Like, well, Colleen is straight up afraid of clowns.
Yeah, that is true. I know we went to Scarowinds and she was, man, yeah.
But no,
I don't know.
I remember. I think a movie that did it that had a good premise, but I don't think it executed it right was Unfriended.
I never saw it. It looked really dumb.
It was not that great.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw it. It was fine. Like it was your typical like, ooh, something's coming after us.
Yeah.
Like I like that it was like messaging. I like that it was messaging them through like I think it was like Facebook or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was like one of you is gonna die. Wah! Like, and then someone dies. It's like, oh, okay. Like it's not really anything scary. Like it just kind of shows like it shows their deaths, but like again, it was cheaply made. I don't think it was very well made.
I think found footage is probably one of my favorite horror like genres now that I'm thinking about it, because Lake Mungo is such a good movie.
I don't really count this as a horror movie. But it's in the category of a horror movie. But if you want to watch a really good mockumentary, the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Yeah, I've gotten recommended those before. Yeah.
There is not many movies I have watched and been like, I can't finish this, and like, or like I felt sick to my stomach watching it. This was one of those movies I was like, holy shit, I don't know if I can finish this. It feels too real.
Really?
It feels so real. It's just it's about this guy who kidnaps these like girls, and he's like filming them. He shows how he and there's this one girl in particular he really loved, because they show like all the footage he had, and it was like a long ass table, and it was like, this to this is like all the other girls, and the rest of the table is just this one girl, and it's like, holy fuck. And it's I don't even have words for it. It, like, again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a horror movie because it's not scary, but it's scary as in it feels real. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it could hit really close to home.
No, I actually, you're putting me on so much stuff that I haven't seen yet. I'm gonna watch Hell House before next time.
Hell House is really good. I really recommend it.
But yeah, so I think we're two found footage lovers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the person that hates it, again, like I need to know what movies they've seen to get a better understanding of why they hate found footage.
I figure it's the original Blair Witch, and it's for the reasons that most people hate it. To where, I mean, what were the original reasons people?
There's
hated
not
Blair
anything
Witch?
that happens.
Yeah,
There's no
I mean,
monster.
Why do people?
Can we actually?
People.
Do you actually know how Blair Witch was made? Like, do you
Wasn't
know?
it-
Do you know the behind the scenes, like how they made the movie?
Oh, they say length. It's too long and amateurish photography.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
And
But
that's not
like,
scary.
but you know, like everything that they were going through was like genuine reactions, like fear,
Really?
anger, all that. Do you know? Again, do you know how it was made?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna break it down really short. Basically, the directors got 3 actors, you know, the people that you see, and they used their real names, and they had them go to a town where there were paid actors, but they didn't know, talking about the Blair Witch. So the people that you see at the beginning, they thought that they were actually talking about a Blair Witch. So then when they go into the woods, they had a map, and they had walkie-talkies to talk to the directors, and they had the cameras. The directors were watching them from afar and telling them, like, they would each have their own goal. So they would get food and then have a note of what their goal was for that day. And when they lose the map, the guy who kicks the map into the river was told to do that, but the other people actually didn't know.
I need to go back and watch it with this in mind.
And
now.
each day they were giving them less and less food, so their sanity would be like, you know, going up, like, or like going
you could
down.
not
like,
do that today.
Yeah. Again, they thought it was a snuff film. And
Golly.
so there was actually a shot of the Blair Witch. And I don't know if you remember this, but when one of them goes missing and they're at night and things start rattling their things, that's the directors actually rattling their tents. And they didn't know that was happening. They didn't know what was going to happen. And all the stuff that they actually found, they just knew which way the director was telling them to go. And they were following the map. Also, when they were running in the woods, I think it was like their 4th or 5th night. It was the night before. It was one of the nights, 2 nights before, like, they actually find the building. There's actually a woman in a dress sitting there, but they were so scared while running they forgot to film it. Because you'll hear the girl being like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, while they're running, and she's crying, terrified. That's their genuine reactions.
Oh my gosh.
And
there's so much lore I didn't know.
Yeah, no, dude, it is insane, like how they filmed that movie. Again, they thought it was a snuff film when they were filming it. So
that's amazing. Gosh, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to it.
And
with
in
that
the
kind of mentality.
Yeah, and in the bottom, when the girl's down there, when she first goes down there, or when I don't know, when the girl goes down there, and she sees the guy standing in the corner, and then something grabs her. it's people dressed in black that grab her. And apparently they had to shoot that like different times because she was like having a full-blown panic attack.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like
oh my gosh.
she was like in like hyperventilating, and they were like
That's
like they were covering
terrible.
her mouth trying to like, and she was screaming and like all that shit.
Really bad.
Yeah, it is really bad. And it's their actual, so the names that they use are their actual names.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So people
That's a lot
actually
of
think that they went
context.
missing.
Yeah, this puts a lot of context behind stuff.
Yeah, and they didn't see, and
Interesting.
they didn't know anything about how the film was going to turn out until the movies.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I have a lot of watching to do before next time.
Yeah.
The final thing I want to leave you on, everyone, is a social media recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I saw the game theorist and whatnot, we're covering it a little bit, but Adamville. Have you heard of Adamville?
Yeah, the new guy that's covering game theory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically just it seems like it's this cool, like, internet ARG-esque kind of thing,
Okay.
if you want to call it that. And it's this universe that they're coming up with. And I've watched all their Instagram videos. Super interesting, super fun and cool. It's basically creating this post-nuclear war
Yeah.
world. And it seems like a lot of it, I don't know if it's AI created, but it feels a little AI created, but it's still like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're interested, go give it a follow at Adamville on Instagram. Other than that, do you have anything to leave the people with?
Horror movies are amazing. I could talk about them for hours. And
Yeah.
horror games.
No, this has been so much fun, like as a pilot episode. I am super excited to continue this.
Me too.
Overall, I think that covering the news is going to be really nice because it allows me to research and keep up to date with like everything that's going on in the horror world, which I normally wouldn't do.
Yeah, I would also love in the future if I could give you some topics too.
110%.
Yeah,
We can
I can
do some.
give you like an idea of a topic to kind of give you like the context, and then we can talk about it.
We can do a 4-hour pod.
I don't think my throat can take that, man. I'm sitting here right now. My throat is fucking killing me, and we've been recording for about an hour and 45.
Yeah, we've been going for a minute now. But overall, thank you all so much for watching this first episode of Fear Talk Radio, and I hope you tune in next month for a thrilling and horrific video. So, everyone, have a good one.
Thank you.